Welcome to the Ask Me How I Know podcast, the only podcast in the multifamily niche replicating what takes place outside the walls of a seminar. This is like the lobby, where honest, unscripted conversations take place and transformation happens. We'll talk about practical problem solving in the multifamily niche, as well as overcoming limiting beliefs. Thank you for joining us today, and now for our featured guest. I told you I was going to share something with you that was really important. And it had to do, it's not really great. It's pretty embarrassing, actually. So I currently, and I have been for many years now, a classroom teacher. And I work with the cutest little students, and they are so bright and so much fun and just little light bulbs. They're just fantastic. I love these kids. And yet I have my own children. And recently I noticed this discrepancy with how I taught my classroom students and the culture I have in my classroom, where I don't have a list of rules and a chart of here's your stickers and here's this. We just have this amazing culture where there's kindness and there's a set expectation. And guess what? These kids go for it. They're so amazing. Well, at my home, I noticed this difference and I was getting frustrated. I'm like, honey, why? I'm talking to my husband, like, why are these kids why are our own children responding to us in this negative way? Why are they bickering? Why are they like, yes, they're kids, and part of that's normal. We're all humans. We kind of snap at each other from time to time. I get that. But then I was trying to figure out this discrepancy. And I realized, guess what? This is really horrible. I don't treat my kids the same way that I treat my students. It was a really big aha moment for me. I realized that when I was frustrated with my students at school, I would pause and I would come and approach them in a very different way than I approach my own children. The children that I grew in my womb, the children that I have raised, I will snap at them and I will respond to them as a grouchy person, not in a positive way, not in a way anybody would expect me to respond, especially to my own children. So that's airing some dirty laundry out there. And I know you have some too. Through this experience, though, it's been really powerful. I went to my kids and I said, I need to apologize to you. I would never, lose my cool with a kid at school. Not ever, not once, never would I speak to my kids the way I sometimes have spoken to you. And that's not okay, because you guys are my kids and you're my rock stars. Right? We are that's my primary investment right there. My family, my husband, my kids. And so as I spoke with him more about this, I'm going to be working on this. I want you to know you are my VIPs, and treating anyone in that way, anyone, is not acceptable. They're very gracious. They're very kind. I have wonderful children. They're not perfect, just like obviously I'm not perfect. But anyhow, they were very gracious to me. But I'm wondering about you. Yeah, you knew that was coming. You knew it's going to turn the cards a little bit, right? This isn't going to be a one-sided thing. So I'm wondering about you. What is it that you have? What discrepancies do you have in your life? Are you like me, where you went to work and you treated, your culture was one way at work, and then you got home and you had a different culture? Or maybe you treat one child one way and another child another way. Well, that's my blood child, and that's, a stepchild of some sort. I'm not sure. I know that might hit home. Might be stepping on toes right there. I'm just wondering if you're willing to do the work to step into your own life and say, where are the discrepancies and where do I need to clean up shop a little bit? I'll tell you what, it was really hard. I cried about it, kind of tearing up a little bit right now, just, the amount of hurt that caused my kids, that really ends up hurting me. And those are not discrepancies that we want to have in our life, especially with our VIPs. So As you are on this journey in your life, you don't want to look back and say, golly, I really wish I would have had a better relationship and I could have done X, Y, and Z. Stop, think, pause, put whatever it is you're doing down, because it's really not going to be that important at the end of your life. More than likely, whatever it is you are working on at this exact moment isn't going to change your life in such a profound way as it is to stop and pause, to evaluate, to say, I'm gonna make some changes. I am going to make these people the most important people, and they're going to know it because I'm going to treat them in that way. Pretty powerful. It's powerful, it's awesome, and it's going to make your life a million times better. I'd love to know what you let go of. I'd love to know, if you don't mind, just private message me, direct message me, however you want. Just let me know, hey, thanks for that. I totally saw this thing in my life and this is what I did about it. Because it's a journey. It's a journey together. And sometimes just saying it out loud to other people, it not only encourages them, but it's validates it for you, and it makes you realize, oh, not only did I see it, not only did I recognize it, and I did something about it, but now someone else knows about it. And there's a level of accountability that comes with that. So go make it a marvelous, marvelous day because you're in charge of it. Thanks so much for joining me for another episode of Ask Me How I Know. My guests are the most humble successes, so be sure to show them your appreciation by rating this episode 5 stars, which sounds silly, but let's be real. Ratings, likes, and shares, they take no time at all, but make all the difference in the world, if only to boost morale. Also, since I don't spend time on the how and why they got into investing, be sure to check out the show notes to get to know more about today's guests, including other podcasts they've been on that has a more traditional format that will give other details about their investment journey. It'll also tell you things like the most influential person in their life and what they're reading right now, as well as how to connect with them. And please, subscribe and rate Ask Me How I Know so it reaches other listeners like you. Until next time, go find your freedom.